Welcome to the Harris County Baseball pregame show. You're watching Kudzu Sports on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I'm Ethan Pettit alongside Coach Lakeman. Coach, big series here tonight. It's tied 1-1, so one of these teams will be winning the series tonight. What are your keys to the game for Harris County?
Keys for me tonight when it comes to this game is you got to get runners in when they're in scoring position. I know last night, a couple innings, we had runners on and couldn't get in, and even game one left some runners out there. So I think starting off hot and finding a way to get those runners in will be huge early on.
Yeah, and I noticed Tuesday when I came out here, Central doesn't strike out very much. They put a lot of contact on. So if you're Dejan, who is starting tonight, what's your approach?
Be honest with you, I just go right at him. I think you can kind of look at JT Perkle from the other night, who kind of just started going at him and was able to get out of some innings and get out of some jams when he started going to contact. The first inning for JT was a little sketchy because he was walking batters. I think you got to go right at him and trust your defense behind you. You can't afford walks. You can't defend walks.
Overall, Harris County's 15-4 on the year. They're facing Central, who's 19-1. Their only loss being Harris County from Tuesday. How about the young talent from Harris County this year, pitching-wise and defensively? JT and Caden Dimitri, Will Dimitri, they've all been huge this year. So if you're a coach, how do you make these guys even better than they are right now?
Man, if you're not excited about this young talent coming through Harris County, I don't know what to tell you. Those between Brody, Will, Caden, and even JT out there, those guys being a vital factor in the success of this season is huge. I think anytime when you can get young players out there that can contribute early on, it makes a huge difference to their success. Biggest thing with young guys is you want to keep their confidence up. Make sure you're behind them each step of the way. Keep letting them play, and they'll figure it out. I think you've seen through the season that those four guys right there, their maturity is huge at the age that they're at.
Tuesday, the walk-off. How were the vibes after that game Tuesday? After okay, we know we can beat a team that's that was undefeated at the time. So how do you keep going after beating a team like that, if anything even changed?
I don't know if necessarily anything changes. Maybe your mindset is okay, now that we finally gave a loss to a team that's been undefeated on the season, we can hang with these guys. It probably built some confidence in that dugout in between the guys. And obviously last night with that loss and that late push to try to make a comeback there, hopefully you see that your guys are willing to fight. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to this one right here. I think they're confident in that dugout right now.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this game goes, too. Dejan will be getting the start, and the winner of tonight's game will be tied with Stars Mill for first place in the region. Speaking of Stars Mill, they'll be facing Northside tonight at 7.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a big game tonight. Obviously, because if you win tonight, you become in a first-way tie with either the winner of Stars Mill and Northside, kind of separating yourself a little bit from the rest of the pack. So I think getting this first huge region win and trying to separate yourself from three other teams is huge going into next, or I guess you have spring break off or whatever for region play, but into the next week, I think getting a little separation is big.
Harris County, they trailed 8-3 heading into the 7th inning last night. Just fell short. 8-7 was the final score. What were things like in that 7th inning, and how do you play off that, bring that momentum? They had 4 runs. They didn't finish the job, but they're bringing some momentum into this game. How do you carry it through?
I think that momentum's huge, and like I said, I think to continue that momentum from that last inning last night, bringing that into these first couple early innings on, and not just trying to hang around, really pushing those runners in and not leaving them out there will be vital to getting this game going early.
And I have to say, Harris County has been, they've been privileged with weather this year.
Yep.
They have had very good games. Weather, it's been terrific this year. How does that affect players and coaches on the field? Is there a difference in the vibes when it's a rainy day to a beautiful night like this?
Yeah, I think it makes a difference as someone who played. I think when it's going to be sunny all day and it's not gloomy and the sun's out, I think your energy is definitely a little bit up. It's 80 degrees, no clouds in the sky on a Friday night. I think your energy is through the roof. At least it was for me, not sitting there going, I wonder if this game's going to be canceled due to rain or not in the forecast. You're sitting there early on in first period going, we got a big ball game tonight.
You see the Harris County lineup. Dejan, Ashton, Caden, Luke, Will, Sawyer, Brody, Joel, and Colt. How do you feel about those guys starting tonight?
Feel good about it, man. I think this is a solid lineup, and see Will Dimitri's getting a start at shortstop tonight, filling in for Dejan while he's on the mound. So that's good to see as a freshman that you got a freshman out there playing shortstop and leading your infield out there.
If you're Dejan Elder, how do you go from hitting leadoff, or excuse me, pitching first, and then turning around and hitting leadoff? Is there any different feelings or for him, you know, compared to a game where he's not pitching?
For me, I think his energy level will probably be a little bit higher than normal. Just getting that start coming in, you're going to be throwing here first and then coming in to hit. I think based on how he pitches in this first inning, will be huge on to how he hits coming into the bottom of the first.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Coach. You'll be on
Yes, sir.
for color later tonight with
Yep.
Rick. But we appreciate you watching. This is the Harris County Baseball Pregame Show. I'm Ethan Pettit, Coach Lakeman alongside me, and this game will be getting started in just a couple minutes.
And welcome into Hamilton, Georgia, Harris County High School in Game 3 of this rubber match between Harris County and Central Carroll. Winner will be leading the region going into spring break. It's your host, Rick Beach, along with Coach Owen Lakeman. Going to be here with you throughout the game. It's Kudzu Sports on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith, Buffalo Rock, Kinetic Credit Union, State Farm Agent Rick Knight, and, of course, the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mike Jolly. And, Owen, we're about to get underway. What do you look for out of Dejon Elder right now?
I'm looking for him to, with this first batter, really command the zone right here, get ahead early in these counts in this first inning. I think it's huge for him building his confidence early on.
That's what we're right here is going to be Chafin leading us off as he has every game this series.
Start him
pitch
off.
Taken outside.
That was a breaking ball.
And there's a pitch flied out to left field. Ashton Herring going back. Looks like he has a beat on it, and he makes the
just
catch
like that
here in the first. Impressive view by Brody Johnson this year at catcher.
Man, like I told on the pregame show, anytime you get some young cats like this out here early on, man, that's something special that you're building in a program right here. It sets the tone of what you're looking for the future as well, and his maturity. I know Brody outside of here, as we had him at the middle school last year. He's just a good kid overall, works really hard at what he does, and you know what you're going to get out of him every night.
Did you see the first two out of the zone? Brody's had a kind of started the year a little bit coming off the bench. He just hit so good, Coach Dimitri couldn't keep him in the dugout.
Yep.
He's found his way in that starting
He's
lineup.
batting 400 plus, I think, as of right now. Good pitch right there, outside corner.
Elder trying to retire the first two. Another fly ball that may go out.
Yep.
And it does. Lands behind.
I suppose.
Two strikes here on Blake Culverhouse, the left fielder for Central.
I'm supposed to be doing this. Come on, Cam.
1-2 count. Here's Elder. Way out of the zone. Brings the count to 2-2 on Culverhouse. Central's Chafin, Culverhouse, Smith, then Asher, Eiling, Willingham, Knight, White, Grimaldi, and Ivester. Same lineup they've had this whole series. Big
good
hook.
Pitch.
Call strike 3 as Dejon Elder retires Culverhouse.
That breaking ball's looking sharp tonight.
That one looked like it was going to be well inside and just broke right down the pipe. That's going to bring up Davis Smith, who's been a nemesis of Harris County in the first inning. He had a base hit in game 1 to put him on the lead. Then yesterday, a big 2-run homer. Off speed just swung and missed. Had a 2-run homer yesterday. But the difference in this game and the last two is Harris County's found a way to keep Chafin off the base paths.
Yep, exactly.
To start the game.
Anytime you can get that leadoff batter out, it's huge.
And it's quickly 0-2 on Culverhouse.
Dejon's looking great out there today. This hopefully carries over into him starting off the inning when they come on the hit.
Davis, batting right here. You got 2 quick strikes. See what Coach Mathis wants to call here. See if it goes back to that off speed. Fastball away.
Fastball out.
So what's that do to the batter when you're seeing these off speed and you see a fastball away from you? So now what are you thinking if you're –
when you call him pitches like that and he's starting you off with a breaking ball and then he goes fastball, you got to
Rogers knocks it down.
Yep.
And it's going to trickle out to right field for a hit. Went back away, and you saw Smith just stick his bat out there and hit it.
Yeah, it's good 2-strike hitting right there. But I'm still liking what I see out of Dejon on the mound right now. He seems locked in, throwing a lot of strikes, which is what you want to see out of your starting pitcher.
Especially early on right here. We mentioned getting that leadoff batter out. That's why it's such a big deal.
Yep, exactly. Getting that leadoff batter is huge.
And that's going to bring up Asher Island, the second baseman for the Lions. throw over.
Number 22, Asher Allen.
We mentioned Central Carroll's got on the board in the first inning, the first 2 games of this series.
See if we can keep them off right here.
Runner going, pitches in. Brody's up, throws it down.
What a shot.
McEldoon.
Got him on the money.
Got him. And Harris
What a
County's going to come in the bat. Right here. What a way to end the first inning.
And as we were
coming
just
up
talking
right
about
here.
Brody.
Yeah, talk
right?
about Brody. See, the freshman throws a laser beam down there right on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And welcome back to Harris County High School. Beautiful day for baseball as Harris County's coming up. You'll see it's going to be Elder Herring, Caden Dimitri, McEldoon, Will Dimitri, Sawyer Roper, Brody Johnson, Joel Rogers, and Colt Angel. That's how Coach Dimitri will run them out there. And it's Dejon batting over 500 this year. That leadoff spot's huge. Pitching for Central, Hayden Richardson starts him with a curveball.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Dejon taking that pitch right there. Off speed first pitch, it's fine. Jump to hit.
Back to back, I'll see that one just misses. Brings the count to 1-1.
Dejon watches ball 2 there. 2-1 and a hitter's count right here. Looking for something to drive.
Here's Richardson to the plate. Ground ball.
Gets through. Gets through. That's a base hit for Dejon right there to start us off. Pushing for 2. And we're up with a stand-up double.
Elder gets in with a double.
And Elder just stays hot. Still batting over 500 right there.
Go and Ashton Herring coming up. Expect some. Good to see some kind of small ball right here. No courtesy runner for Elder. You want to keep his speed in the game.
Exactly.
Herring in.
This is what I talked about with Ethan pregame, was making sure we can get these runners in scoring position early in and not leave them out there stranded.
Yep,
and that's a dead ball.
First. Now bring up Caden Dimitri's had a heck of a season offensively. With first and second, nobody out.
Now batting for your Harris County Tigers, number 11, Caden Dimitri.
It's another freshman to be excited about as well.
Yeah.
Got a freshman batting in the 3-hole. I mean, that's huge right there.
Elder leads at second. Herring, nobody holding him on at first. They come in on the grass expecting a bunt. We saw Dimitri attempt last game. Had 2 failed attempts and 1 at bat. Put him in an 0-2 hole. Third base looks like he's going to stay at home on a bunt.
Yeah, they're
having
boom.
Richardson cover both sides. Snap throw.
Yep, and Dejon's taking off.
Elder goes to third.
Looks like we're going to hold him here at third.
Second. And just like that, Harris County has them second and third, still nobody out. And you didn't have to take the bat out of Caden's hand.
Yep, but now you're looking for your 3-hole hitter to really inflict some damage right here. This is where you want your 3-hole hitter at. Runners in scoring position and no outs.
Foul tip. So took that one out of the catcher's mitt. Huge opportunity for Harris County, who's only leading this whole series is when they walked it off in game 1.
Yeah, you really want this right here. As this helps Dejan out there on the mound. They use some of that stress as well, getting in a run, getting that lead early on.
There it is, left field. It's going to be out in the gap. It's going to roll to the warning track. Elder comes in, Herring comes in, Dimitri's in the second, and Harris County's out to a 2-0 lead here in the first inning. It's all about doing some damage out of the 3-hole, and there it is.
Looks like we've carried some of that momentum from that last inning last night against them, and hopefully that keeps the bats going right there.
So here comes Luke McEldoon, and you can do all kind of things now with Luke and his speed and his bat ability. So he's good, handles the bat well, bunts well. He's going to be swinging it, takes the ball high. Caden getting his lead at second. Central's freshman shortstop Willingham holding him on. Fly ball to center.
Gets up under that.
Iverson's going back. Ivester got it. He's going to not try the arm. Ivester last night threw out Sawyer Roper at home plate to end the game.
Yep.
So it's a good idea right there by Caden. Just stay put and don't run to an out and kill this momentum you have this inning. This is going to bring up Will Dimitri, who's kind of struggling at the start of the year offensively. And then he just came out of nowhere.
He's kind of
gotten
gotten hot. I want to say he's also batting over 400, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, takes that one in there for a strike, and it goes 0-1 on Will, getting the start at short. Getting the start at shortstop today. Another one misses up and in. It brings it to 1-1. Will's also, when he's not playing DH and you see him as a courtesy runner, he is not just fast, he's a really good base runner. He reads the ball well.
Yep.
Super impressed with that baseball IQ, which
comes back to that maturity thing with these freshman guys that you see in the lineup.
Ground to third, that one's going to go foul. We talked about the IQ. We talked about it with Will and Caden before. Obviously, Coach Dimitri down at third base, then Will's father, the AD at Marion County, John. But their granddad, Coach Dimitri, so I know him as my baseball coach. You know, he won a state championship as a player at Jordan, coached at Jordan for a long time. So no surprise that Will does grace with that IQ. So here's the 1-1, fouled straight back, brings it to 1-2.
Yeah, had Will at tryouts last year for baseball and impressed by his speed as an 8th grader. It's clocked him at a 6'7" at just turned 14 years old, and that's pretty solid numbers right there.
And you see he can play shortstop. We've seen him at third.
Yeah, he's kind of just your utility guy. Kind of go anywhere you tell him to, and he'll go out there and do it.
And when you need to, he can just DH and hit for you. And the thing, when you can do all that and you're just a freshman, it's like Willingham on the other dugout being a freshman at shortstop for a team that's 19-1 is so pretty impressive. But here's the 1-2 from Richardson. Misses up. Makes it 2-2. Caden getting a decent lead out there. You have to think on a base hit he can score. It's a beautiful day. Wind blowing out to center field. Richardson steps off. Willingham really working Caden, leaving a hole open on that left side. That's flied out to left.
That might be trouble.
Third base is going back. It may fall in there. Left fielder's got it. Nice play by Culverhouse to stay with it. Ball hung up in there a lot longer than it looked like it was off the bat. Here comes Sawyer Roper, who tied the game with a pinch hit home run in game 1 and almost tied the game in Central last night.
Yeah, you're definitely liking what you've been seeing out of him the last 2 nights, especially coming in with that pinch hit home run to tie the game in that first opening game against Central Carrollton here.
So here's the first pitch to Roper. Called strike. Took one in there. I think he's having a little regret after seeing that one roll in there. Caden Dimitri at second. He had the big 2-run double to get the scoring going here in the first. And here's the 0-1 pitch to Roper.
That
Out to
ball's-
center field. Ivester seems to have it. It's
Yep.
still going at the track is caught. But Caden Dimitri with a big 2-run double. And we go to the second. It's 2-0 County on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. And welcome back to Hamilton, Georgia, right off Tiger Way. We're going to throw up the defense again. Let you see it. You'll see right there, left to right, Ashton Herring, Colt Angel, and Caden Dimitri in the outfield. Infield, Hudson King, Will Dimitri, Luke McEldoon, and Joel Rogers. Dejon Elder on the mound, and his battery mate, Brody Johnson, who we saw in the first inning with the laser beam down to second. And to start the second, Asher Allen's coming back up as he was at bat when Davis was thrown out. There's a line drive to center field. Angel takes a step to his left and makes the catch.
And that right there is what you want to see out of Dejon right there. You get 2 runs, boom, go right back in, pound in the zone, let your defense work right there.
Exactly. You get the big inning. Sometimes you worry, especially him being on the base paths, how he might feel. So you like to see it.
Yeah.
It's so important. We talk about it all the time in the shutdown inning. You score some runs, you got to get, the next 3 outs. So here's the pitch called in on Willingham.
Yeah, someone who pitched like me, getting out there after getting that lead is huge. You want to put up another 0 right here. Get your guys back in there to swing it.
Another fly to right, and Caden's got that one. So they've tried Colt. They tried Caden. Let's go for a left field fly ball and let Ashton Herring wrap this inning up.
Yeah, again, another quick out right there. Hopefully get your guys back in here swinging, add some more runs. I mean, you've got to absolutely love what you're seeing out of Dejon starting here out on the mound, quick outs. If you can get out of here with a couple pitch in, and that is great, especially trying to get deep into this ball game.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing, keeping that pitch count down. You had the bullpen got used up a little last night with Eber and Brooks. Here's the first pitch to Bryce Knight, the catcher for the Lions. Called strike, pumping the strikes in there.
Yeah, Dejon's on fire right now, really feeling it out there.
It's the 0-1 pitch tonight. Misses away.
See if Dejon goes right back at him here.
There's the 1-1 tonight. Swing and a miss. 1-2, went up with a fastball.
Yep, right back at him and attacked him right there with a upper high fastball.
Let's see what they play with Knight's eye levels here. Coach Mathis sends it in. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled straight back. That might have a car written on that one.
It definitely might. That's why I park far away from this ballpark.
Absolutely. And depending where I park, how I face, I like the bed of my truck facing the field all the time. 1-2 the count. Elders. Johnson slides out. 1-2 pitch. Another fouled off. Make it up for them quick at-bats early in the game or early in the inning.
Yep, exactly.
Knight really having a good at-bat right here.
Dejan's still going to go right back at him, I think, right here.
And here's the 1-2. Grounded out. Hudson King going to cut it off. Across the diamond. And 1, 2, 3 go to the lines. Harris County leads 2-0 and go into the bottom of the second. And welcome back as Brody Johnson steps into the plate.
So if Brody can stay hot at the plate right here and get the momentum going again.
Richardson's pitch is in the dirt. 1-0. Yeah, it'd be nice to get him on base. Then would see a courtesy runner for him. Caleb Jenkins or Colt Kennedy, I'm sure. Ooh, must have hit right at the kneecaps. So strike. One pitch, grounded to third. Luke White has it over to Grimaldi, and Brody's retired. And that'll bring up Joel Rogers.
Now batting for your Harris County Tigers, big number 10, Joel Rogers.
So Harris County gets the two lefties in the lineup. Joe Rogers and Angel will be on deck. Line drive center field. Ivester coming in. Gonna let it fall. And Rogers is on with a single. And that'll bring up Angel, who hit the ball last night when Roper got thrown out of home.
To be that's huge as well. Getting that bottom of the order on base, getting hits, turning it back over to the top of your order. That's how you really produce long innings and score a lot of runs right there.
And if Colt can keep it going here, and plus with the base hit, now the right side opens up. With Grimaldi holding on Rogers. First pitch. Goes to left center. Culverhouse going back, still drifting. And on the track, he makes a catch. That ball went a little further than it looked like off the bat. And the best thing about that hit with Joel, now it flips it over to Dejon, has an opportunity to hit with men on base. So come up with 2 outs here in the second.
Now batting for your Harris County Tigers, number 1, Dejon Elder.
That's been the biggest thing since last year, just watching the growth of Dejon, watching him go from last year being that kid that's never got to start. And here's the first pitch to him as Joel was taking a step, and Joel Rogers is picked off. And Dejon will lead off in the third. And we go to the third. It's still 2-0 County. And welcome back, Rick Beach and Coach Owen Lakem up in the box today. Appreciate you coming on with us, Coach.
Yep, no problem. Happy to be here, support the Tigers, and hopefully Dejon can continue doing what he's been doing all game.
And you see it's Luke White coming up. You talked about last inning. We talked about the importance of just pumping strikes.
You've got to pump strikes. High school. If you can throw strikes and you can locate, you'll be highly successful.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're looking at this now. It's 0-2, and you've seen in the past when you go 1-1, 2-1, you give the batter an opportunity. Dejon's been ahead in the count. Even the hit earlier was a 1-2 count, I believe.
Yeah,
might have been 0-2. Oh, just off the outside corner, and it goes 1-2.
I know what I tell the younger guys at middle school is you can't defend walks.
Yeah.
But you can defend when they put it in play.
And it keeps your defense on your toes.
Exactly.
Here's the 1-2, taken low. Evens the count up 2-2. Yeah, it just keeps the defense alive. We've seen that play. Hudson King may go into his left. Herring going back on that ball, keep you on your toes. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Elder. Line drive up the middle, base hit. Worked from an 0-2 count to 2-2, and 8-hole hitter or 7-hole hitters on base. And that'll bring up Braden Grimaldi.
Now batting number 8, Braden Grimaldi.
I think even with that, you're at the bottom of their order. I think you still try to attack right here, see if you can't get you a ground ball out of here and get you a double play.
And see as Hudson King slides in, see how Central plays it here. If they play for try to get the 1 run, snap throw over, and Luke White is in safely. Another snap throw. King staying in at third. So he is bunting and goes to King at third, and it's going to roll foul, picks it up. It's 0-1 on Grimaldi.
Try to get that runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs and see if they can't drive him in.
Yeah, you got Jake Vester on deck as Grimaldi is taking his time coming back in. looking at the signs at third base.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're taking so long there.
Yeah.
Trying to keep him honest over there at first base.
Yeah, and if nothing else, just shorten that lead up. One step could be the difference in a play at second.
Yep, exactly.
She's set. Here's the pitch. Misses in. One ball, one strike count on Grimaldi. Elder comes set. And runner going. Little hit and run action, fouled off. That ball was well in. So Harris County benefit from that. And again, it's a 1-2 count. We've seen 2 hits by Central. Has been on 2 strike counts.
Dejan's definitely not scared to go at him right here. He's been doing it all game. I think you see it right here again.
Ooh, a little close at first. The thing is, we talk about pumping strikes. Sometimes that's why you get hit with 2 strikes. You're just in the zone too much.
Sometimes can be a killer.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Little slide step action. Just misses again. It's going to make it 2-2. That's similar to the 1-2 pitch on Luke White, just outside.
I think that's why you want to work ahead, too, because you can get away with some of those pitches in the dirt and stuff. You know, you're in a pitcher's count.
That one skips away, and that's going to let Luke White go to at least second. Now he's going to look like he's rounding to come to third. Throws now coming across the diamond. King's just going to have to catch it. And just like that, the more you throw it over, the better chance one's going to get away, and it does. Now, tables have turned a lot in this inning as you got a man on third with nobody out.
Yeah, to me, this situation is where you really hopefully you can get you a strikeout right here or an infield pop fly.
There's strike 3. Curveball caught that inside corner. Grimaldi goes back to the dugout, and it's going to bring up Jake Alvester, the center fielder. Now, just like you said, so keep it an infield pop fly, something right here to keep that runner at third.
Yeah, that's a huge strikeout right there. It's also a confidence booster for Dejan. He's got someone on third.
Swing and a miss. 0-1's the count on Alvester, the center fielder. Saved the day for Central Carroll yesterday with his throw to get Roper at home plate. Now, fly ball. Caden coming in, Luke going back. Luke's going to squeeze it, stays on the infield. He fakes it, and got 2 outs here in the third inning. But who's coming up? It's going to be Grant Chafin, who has been a nemesis of Harris County.
Yeah, you're back at the leadoff, but good spot right here. 2 outs after getting that 8 and 9 hole batter to strike out and get you an infield pop fly right there. You really can't ask for more right there with a runner on third and no outs.
Absolutely. Here's the first pitch to Chafin. Called strike. Talk about a boost it would be to go into that dugout right here if you could find a way to leave that runner stranded at third.
Yeah, I agree. I think this fires up the dugout right here if you can somehow get out of this situation right here.
They're all leaning on the rail, cheering on Dejan, and it hits Chafin, and he'll get on base. That changes nothing as far as what's going on at third base, and that's who the concern is with now, is it's going to bring up Blake Culverhouse.
Now back to number 1, Blake Culverhouse.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to see that hit by a pitch right there, but it doesn't kill anything out there.
Yeah.
From before.
Culverhouse hit a fly ball left field, had Herring chasing it down. He got it short of the track in the first inning. Chafin got his lead. Fastball misses up.
I think this is huge for Dejan if he can somehow figure out how to get himself out of this jam, especially coming in to hit next inning.
Yeah, and you got Davis Smith on deck, so you don't want to face him. Throw over to first. High-risk decision throwing it over, trying to catch Chafin. Little slide step. That one misses away, and it's 2-0. Dejan Coach Dimitri. I think that's a good timeout by Coach Dimitri.
Yeah. Trying to calm the nerves out there right now.
Yeah, what's being said, you think, right now, if you're Coach Dimitri, what are you saying to Dejon?
I think if you're Coach Dimitri, you're telling him to relax. Hey, you got 2 outs right here. It's your two-hole hitter. Let your defense work like you have been doing in the previous 2 innings, and even the last out you just had right here. You get your ground ball up the middle right here. Let him step on second.
Yes.
Yeah, just trying to calm your guy down as a pitching coach at the middle school level. That's usually all I try to do and go out there. I'm not going out there to berate anybody. Doesn't do anything good for the pitchers. Pitchers are weird.
Yeah.
They have a certain thing about them.
Runner going to be taken low and in. Brody's throw.
Will saves it.
Will Dimitri with a great play right there going across the field, just about make the snag. It's going to be second and third with a 3-0 count.
I think Will just saved a run right there, and that runner also could have been at third.
May have saved 2. Never knowing when chafing speed where that ball's going to go into center.
I think you want to go right back out at this guy and see if you can't get him to roll over, especially with the 3-hole hitter coming up next.
Ennis gave him chopper right back to Elder. He's got it. Throw to first, and the dugout erupts as Elder pitches out of a man on third, nobody out situation. And we go to the bottom of the third. It's 2-0 County on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And Dejon's leading us off right here in the bottom of the third.
Got him to chase right there.
It's 0-1. Richardson.
Again, hoping we get some build even more momentum off getting out that jam right there in that previous half inning.
Absolutely. Let's rope foul. We talked about if Dejon gets a pitch this inning, how fired up he's going to be. So he's going to be
exactly, yeah.
Ready to let it loose.
Dejon's got a battle with 2 strikes right here.
Up and in. Brings the count to 1-2.
It's almost not a bad one to wear right there.
Oh, down in the hole.
Yep, down in a hole 0-2.
Elder had a double in the first inning, came around to score. Try to recapture that right here, but it's going to be tough with a 1-2 count. Richardson's pitch. Lifted out to center field. Ivester's got it. He's coming in on it now as the wind's kind of died out.
Yeah, it's died out.
And Elder's retired, which he can now go in there and catch his breath a little bit before going back out on the mound. That's going to bring up Ashton Herring. hit by pitch
Now batting for your
his last time, but he's
number 12, Ashton.
up to 25 stolen bases this year, so he'd
Yeah, he's got
like
some.
to get on and go.
He's got some wheels on him out there, that's for sure. Anytime he hits something to the left side, even on the infield, he might be able to beat it out.
Yeah, something you can't replay. That speed is incredible. We saw it last year at the end of the losing streak. That's pretty much what they did. Coach Dimitri took the chains off and let them run as that one's taken up. It's 2-0 count. And Herring was a big part of that. I remember playing Columbus last year, just seeing him still second, still third. Ground ball is going to go over the third baseman's head. Look for two right here as Herring rounds first, and Coach K is going to pull the reins on him. And he's going to pull up there, and Harris County's got another runner on base.
And now you're back to your 3-hole, and like we just talked about with Herring's speed, you might try to steal a base right here with your 3-hole and not see if you can add another run here in this inning.
Yeah, you got two options. You could either put one down or let Herring go, and I think they're going to let Herring run right here. You got Knight, Braden Knight, the catcher, or Bryce Knight rather, I'm sorry, the catcher for Central's. Got to be ready as Herring's got a good lead over there. Richardson set. Throws over to first, and Herring in safely.
Yeah, I think they know what's probably coming as well over there in Central Carrollton's dugout.
Yeah, we noticed in game one, calling that game, the scouting that Central did. Another snap throw. That one hits Herring. He's going to call timeout, and he's going to try not to rub it. We know that. He's going to stretch that one out.
It looks like it might have caught him right there in the hamstring, back thigh.
He's talking to Coach K over there at first. Coach K's been busy this year because all these big leads and everybody knowing how much Harris County runs. And let's see if he comes to the plate here. He does. Slide step. Herring is going. Throw bounces out the center. Herring just going to drop anchor. Coach Dimitri had them hands up quick. And Harris County has a runner in scoring position with one out here in the third.
Just like that, you've got a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs. That's what I talked pregame show with Ethan about is can you get these guys in early on when you need them?
Yeah, and that's something they kind of left runners on game one early and yesterday. So now we're looking here if they can cash in. Caden already with 2 RBIs on the day. That one comes up and in. It's 2-0. As you see, Richardson's on that slide step.
You'd be looking for Will or Caden to take a hack here and up 2-0 in a count with a runner on second. Looking to drive the baseball.
Goes to right field, is hanging up a little bit. It'll get caught. And Herring is going to tag. Long throw. And he's called out. No, the long throw from Grant Chafin, who pitched in game one, to third.
And another good swing right there by Caden. It just kind of hung up there in the air just a little bit too long.
Number 7, Luke McAdoo.
So see Herring getting his lead at third with just 2 outs with umpires. You know, that's one thing with emphatic umpires. If you're over the top on your out calls, you can't be over the top on safe because it's really hard to tell for us on what you're calling. As we could tell he was safe from up here. McAdoo line drive. Scoop by Willingham over to Grinaldi. And Harris County's retired. And we'll go to the fourth. It's 2-0 Tigers on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And welcome back, Rick Beach, Owen Lakem with you. Producer Tyler Dykes up here in the press box with Bobby Rogers over there on the PA. 2-0 lead. Harris County leading that one. Buzzes. Leadoff man right here. Davis Smith, who got on in the first with a single and got caught stealing. Him and Grant Chafin just been thorns in the side of the Tigers. So nice to see him batting with nobody on again.
Now you're down 2-0 as a pitcher right here. You're hoping Dejan can lock back in and get something going, get a strike right here.
Yeah, you got the 3-4-5.
Yep.
For Central. Off the hands over Elder's head. He's not going to have a play. Yes, he does. Got him at first. What a play, Dejan Elder. I didn't think there's any way he was going to have a play.
What a play by Elder right there, man. I mean, just athletic. I mean, there's not a lot of kids, in my opinion, around here that are making that play.
And I think you make that play when you're feeling yourself. When you're on that level, we talked about going from last year to this year, and he's on it. Phenomenal play at any level, especially the high school level.
You get behind 2-0 on a 3-hole hitter, and you get to jam him right there, and you make a great play. I mean,
you made a perfect pitch. Just listen to the dugout over there in the Harris County dugout. They're all on the rail.
And again, it comes back to us talking about that momentum. Can you keep it up and sustain it for 7 full innings?
That one misses. Asher Allen lined out to Colt his last time up. See if he checked this swing. They can't ask the first base. He ain't got an angle on it, so it's going to have to be a 2-1 count. That's when you wish you had that third base umpire to ask for help. Here's 2-1. Bounces it up there. It's going to make it a 3-1 count.
Yeah, get behind 3-1 right here. I don't know. I necessarily didn't like going a 3-hole or 4-hole hitter and giving them something to really take a hack at right here. I might just kind of see if I can dot a corner right here and then see if I can't roll a double play if I walk them.
Foul straight back. He had a good swing on it, just missed it.
And I'll give it to Dejan. He's definitely not scared to go right at these hitters. I mean, he went right at him right there.
Yeah, a lot's been made of the, game 1, game 2 this year has been the freshmen, the babies, Caden Dimitri, JT Perkle. But then to have this junior, you have the upperclassmen, the playing time, and this is what. Gone, strike 3! As Dejan Elder strikes out Asher Allen. And that's what we're talking about. You have this leadership. He played last season. He went through the losing streak to start the year. And now you love to see the success coming from him now.
Yeah, that's another big thing with having an older guy around some of these younger guys, kind of teach them how to carry themselves and how to handle success. And, I talk about motivation a lot, but keeping that energy compacted because you never want to get too high and you never want to get too low. You want to keep it at that same level all game.
And there he goes for the first pitch to Willingham.
And Dejan is looking good once again right here at this batter after 2 huge outs.
It's 1-1 on Willingham. You have to give him credit. That's the freshman for Central Carroll. Great player. And it bounces up there. You see the respect right already coming from Elder to him.
Yeah, a lot of young players on both these teams. I think you're excited for both sides for these future series to come in the next few years here in this new region that we're in.
These two teams, part of probably the best region in 4A baseball-wise, could be in the state as far as these top 4 teams. They're going to be playing nothing but each other. How this schedule worked out is awesome. And the winner of this game and the winner of the Starsville Northside game later will be the 2 guys ahead of the standings going into spring break. As here's the 3-1, misses badly. And that'll be a walk to Willingham. That'll bring up Bryce Knight, the catcher for the Lions.
Yeah, I like how that schedule's set up here at the end. I think it gives all four of these teams, you're going to have some high-quality baseball.
Yeah.
And it's going to probably come down to that last week of those last series. I mean, that's how tight this thing, in my opinion, is probably going to be. I mean, I think after we saw Stars Mill win the other night against Northside and Central beating us last night, I mean, this thing is back to being wide open for that one spot.
Yeah, the way the schedule looks, if you can win 2 out of 3, which Harris County's at home 2 of the 3 games against Central and Stars Mill, which means you need to split the road games with Northside. So here's the pitch. Nice play, Brody Johnson. Northside winning on the road at Stars Mill really gave them the opportunity. Then last night, Stars Mill's coming back. So this region and Harris County will end the season with Stars Mills at home, and that could come into play with having this home field.
Into play.
As you see the lead over at first, here's the slide step pitch. Just misses. It's going to go to 2-0. It's 2-0 after the pump. One thing I like to ask some of these guys you see, like the freshmen over on Central Dugout, is how much these kids have seen each other in the travel ball realm. Another nice play by Brody. It's 3-0. As we see some movement down in the bullpen for Harris County. I saw Harkins just run in there to start doing the catching. I'm trying to get eyes on who's warming up. As 3-0 pitch misses again. Same spot. That's when you usually tell it might be the gas tank's getting a little low, as JT Perkle's throwing down in the bullpen. We saw him start game 1 for 6 innings.
Move here.
Think now with our shout out to Derek Moxley Concrete Service. And the Harris County Little League, they're in full swing now. Thank them for their support of Kudzu Sports and Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Also like to thank Christ Chapel Hamilton and all they've done for us since coming on board in the falls. Coach Dimitri's wrapping up down there. And I think right here you just want to see Elder get one more out, then let JT start with a clean slate in the 5th.
Yeah, I think you're kind of seeing him maybe getting a little tired here, kind of losing control. But I think in my opinion, in high school, if you can get 4 out of your starter, it sets you up for those last 3. You really want 4 out of your starter. 5 is great, but 4 is a good spot.
Yeah, it's going to be breaking ball, and sometimes that helps your pitcher too. You've been throwing your fastball for a ball, break off a breaking ball. Everybody's thinking fastball right here in this situation.
I used to do the same thing when I pitched. Coach McGregor, who's also an assistant to the baseball team here, was my head coach in high school, so he'd call the same thing.
I was hoping that'd be a little bit of confidence going, get that curveball over, set up the at-bat. Now you're just in this 1-1 count. Try to get you another strike right here. Still one. Love to see him just get a ground ball. And here's the 1-1 to White. Bounces up there. Nice play, Brody Johnson. As Willingham has to go back to second. He's getting a big lead out there.
Again, when it comes back to Brody, you like what you see behind the plate right here. I mean, he has kept those runners at their respectable bag and keeping them from advancing.
Left field going back. Herring ain't going to have the play on. It's going to bounce up against the wall. Willingham scores. Knight scores. And it's 2-2 here in the 4th. As Luke White rips a double out in the left center gap. And it ties this puppy up at 2. And just like that, this inning started with the first 2 batters getting out. Now Grimaldi's coming up with a chance to put Central in front.
Let's see if Dejan can come back here and settle down and see if we can get out this one.
That one gets by Brody. Almost. The ball hitting the bricks. Came right back, and everything's missing low for Dejan here in the 4th.
Yeah, I think he's starting to possibly wear down out there. It looks like he's probably lost a little bit off his fastball as well.
Swing and a miss. Might have helped us out there. It's just 1-1. Grimaldi struck out looking his last time up.
Can he get you one more to set up your bullpen for the last half of this game is the question.
That one misses high. I want to see Day come through right here and leave this game tied. Swing and a miss. It's going to even it up 2-2. You really don't want to get to 3-2. You like to, put your put 'em away pitch right here in this 2-2 count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. High chopper to McAdoo coming in, and he bobbles it. And Central Carroll hops out to the lead.
Now batting number 3, Jay.
You got the ground ball you wanted right there, and just a little mishandle there by the second baseman, and now a run scores, and Central Carrollton takes the lead.
Yeah, it's a real high chopper off the front of the home plate area. Kind of like the first out this inning, that big high chop. So that one's hard to play for McAdoo. And that sits off Brody's mask and goes down the first base line. And you think back to the wild pitch, got the runner to third before the base hit, infield single. So he might
Brody's having to really work back here this inning. He's trying to do everything he can to keep those runners at bay, but as a pitcher, when you're all over the place, you can only do so much back there.
Misses high.
I think if we walk this guy right here, I think you might see a move to the bullpen.
Yes. It's that 3-0. And the other thing with them high choppers, them balls in the dirt, really taking some hard bounces on Brody too. That one misses low. They go to the top of the order.
And it looks
with
like
the runners on first and second. And here comes Coach Dimitri. And we're going to take a break with him. We'll be right back with the new pitcher here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And on the mounds, J.T. Perkle, you see the moves. Elders at short. Will Dimitri slides over to third. Perkle on the mound, top of the order for Chafin. First pitch fouled in front of the Harris County dugout. We talked about JT pitched in Tuesday in game 1 of this series, and Chafin got a base hit on him in the first inning to get the score started. But now coming out of the bullpen is a whole different monster.
Yeah, I think it's a different monster. I think your mindset as a pitcher might shift a little bit. You're not, you didn't have before the game to prepare, but I think your mindset when it comes to filling up the zone is still the same. It's good that he threw that first pitch strike. That's a big confidence booster for any pitcher coming out the bullpen.
Yeah, Dejan finishes 3 2/3. He threw 72 pitches. He's responsible for the 2 runners on base as Perkle comes set. The 0-1 to Grant. Line to center field. Angel looking up, chasing it. He's not going to get it. 2 runs are going to score. And it's another 2-run double for Central Carroll. And they've put in the separation now. They've scored 5 this inning and take a 5-2 lead. All with 2 outs.
Yeah, all with 2 outs. Which is a killer, but again, still a lot of ball game left, right? You're not even through the 4th inning yet. So, again, can you maintain that level of energy like we talked about earlier on?
Big off-speed pitch for a strike there. As Culverhouse, he's the 9th batter to hit in the inning. Davis Smith is on deck. That's off the end of the bat. Flare out to center. Angel coming in and makes the catch. And finally, this inning is over. Central Carroll sends 9 to the plate. 5 of them touch it. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 5-2 Central. And we're back on Kudzu Sports on Georgia Alabama Sports Live as Will Dimitri will lead things off. And see this first pitch from Richardson. Nice take right there. It's important right here for Harris County. The biggest goal may not be just to get the 3, but get something, chip away, and try to steal some of that momentum.
Yeah, I don't think your goal is to get – obviously it's awesome if you get all 3 back right here, but I don't think that's necessarily your goal. If you can just scratch one across right here, I think that's big confidence-wise for the rest of the team, and that may end up leading you to a big inning.
There's a line drive left field, carrying well, going out, and off the wall. That's one way to get the inning started as Will Dimitri cruises into second with a leadoff double. And let's just hope this leadoff double is like the first inning and can lead some runs.
Yep, can we keep it going? And again, a freshman with a big-time hit there. Get the dugout back into the game, especially if you had a big inning like you did, giving up 5 runs. That right there can get that energy back shifted back into this dugout.
Yeah, we talked about the dugout's energy, them being up on the rail. And, them 5 runs could easily have zapped it out of them. But right now, you see them all huddled up in that corner. As they know, as Roper's up, Base hit here. You like your chances with Will Speed. Willingham trying to hold him on at second. He's starting to bail out. Big off-speed pitch taken for a strike. That ball is really carrying out the left field.
Yeah, it is. Multiple times tonight we've seen it just keep flying out there.
Roper's 0-1 pitch from Richardson is fouls that one back. Big swing right there by Sawyer.
He's probably going to see a lot of those off speeds with what he's done the past two games against Central Carrollton here.
And if you're Harris County, you'd love to see one just get hung.
They might try to speed him up right here. Yep.
They do. You see the energy right there from Richardson. He knows that's a big out. As Brody Johnson is coming up.
Now batting for your Harris County Tigers, number 35, Brody Johnson.
Grounded out to third his last time up.
This is one of the things where, to me, you've got to get that. You've got to get this runner in that's on second. I mean, leadoff double. That's run that's got to score here.
You see Central switches. That one's fouled straight up and into the bleachers. I think I knocked the phone out of somebody's hand. That was straight up and straight down over here. Going to be 0-1 on Brody. But you see Central switch, how they're holding on. Will Dimitri's now the second baseman. Asher Allen is going to be working on, so it's a huge hole on the right side.
You're probably thinking Brody's going to pull one right here just based on the previous two games.
And I think pitch selection-wise, too, they're going to throw a lot of off-speed to try to get him to.
Yep, out front and early.
So they're working him, really holding that runner on. Will still trying to get a big lead out of it. Not called strike, I think.
Yeah, called strike behind 0-2.
Like this, as they used to say back in the day, choke and poke right here with 0-2 count.
Yeah, put
Needs
something
some
in play.
contact. Misses up.
That's twice he's gone back to that fastball up after going off speed.
Joel Rogers in the on-deck circle. Good take as that one skips away. And Will Dimitri accrues in the third. Now making contact is even more bigger deal with that runner on third, less than 2 out. Do not want to be the guy.
Yeah, you definitely got to put something in play here. Hope maybe to the right side, see if you can get hard ground ball or deep pop fly to the outfield and get that run in. 'Cause if you hit something far enough out there in the air, Will's definitely going to tag up.
That's what you're hoping for is Brody's up there with a 2-2 as that one's taken low and away. As it makes it a full count.
He's worked his way back into this count after falling behind 0-2, which ended up turning into a good at bat here, and hopefully he can win this battle right here.
Richardson comes set, looks over at third. Dimitri gets his lead. That ball misses low and away from 0-2 to working a walk. Nice at bat by the freshman catcher. And eyeballs down. It looks like Caleb Jenkins will be the courtesy runner for Brody.
Now batting for your Harris County Tigers.
And now Central's going to take a timeout. They have somebody in the bullpen. I didn't get his number when he went down there to start throwing. This may be just a talk and try to get it out. It's kind of similar to where Central was in their order when that started to unravel for the Tigers. That's where we are now. Joel did get a single his last time, base hit.
And Colt even, I mean, he drove that baseball as well, just hit it straight to somebody. And to me, this is where really good teams shine, when your bottom of the order can drive in runs as well and flip that back over
Set
to
the
the
table
top.
for the top.
Yep.
You're so correct on that, man. Something that people overlook, when you got your 2-hole hitter, leadoff hitter, get them RBIs, and them are bottom of the order guys that found a way to get on it. For Brody, we talked strikeouts, runner on third, less than 2 outs, a big no-no you get preached about when you start playing. Probably when you hit about A-ball in Little League.
Yep.
Hey, we got a runner here, just make contact. Now that's what Harris County's wanting out of Joel right here. Just not a ground ball right at somebody. So Caleb may be running at first. There's the slide step pitch taken for a strike on that outside corner. It'd be interesting to see that over at first with Caleb if Coach Dimitri does put him in motion and force Central to either throw it down and maybe Will take off. Slide step, he is going. Pitch is taken outside. Throw, one hops. And Harris County's now second and third, and a ground ball can get a run in, and you don't have to worry about the double play.
Yep, exactly. That was huge right there, moving those runners in a scoring position. Now you gap something up right here, and you're thinking you score 2 out of this.
Yeah, you got good speed at second and third. Caleb getting a huge lead out at second. Nobody holding him on. Willingham and Asher staying at home. Pitch taken low, makes it a 2-1 count. Joel can be more selective here.
That's exactly right. He's in a hitter's count now. He's ahead. He's looking for something he can drive right here. See if he can do a job and get a run or 2 in.
Here's the big 2-1 pitch to Rogers. Lifted out to center field. Dimitri coming back. Investor coming in. It is going to land in there. Throw coming home. Hits the mound. Gets by the catcher. Caleb Jenkins didn't see it. Now we got a mess on our hands at first. Rogers is safe at first. Caleb gets the third. So after all that, we still end up first and third, but that is not the way you draw it up to get there. I think Caleb lost that ball going back to second. Now that everything's calmed down, we end up in the same boat we would have had to begin with.
In the beginning.
Rogers is coming out for Colt Kennedy to run, so you got the tying run at first with some speed. And Colt Angel coming up.
Yeah,
and how about another first and third? So you set up for Kennedy to take off for second. Bryce Knight's throw was not that great on the last one. Maybe you.
Now back for your Harris County Tigers, number 19, Colt Angel.
What a sequence that was. I mean, that just goes to show you put the ball in play. You know, crazy things do end up happening, and I don't know how we got to first and third there. But
center fielder must have been playing in Pine Mountain because I didn't think there was any way that ball was going to land.
Yeah, it hung up there for a while.
The fake to third, throw to first. He's in safe as Kennedy's kind of taking his time as he read the fake. And even Richardson was just slow motion in it.
He took his time there diving back into first and made it a lot closer than it even should have been to start with.
Well, I think he was leaning a little bit because he's running. Let's see if they go again.
And now you're hoping that Colt can do something right here and flip it back to the top.
That's a balk. They're not going to call it. He stepped forward. That is absolutely a balk that was missed. They're not going to call it now. They're not going to ask for help. I tell you one trick these umpires usually do is the home plate umpire will watch from the waist down. Base umpire will watch from the waist, or vice versa. Home plate watches waist up. Base umpire watches waist down. So asking for help usually don't do any good because
you're never going to see you're never going to see a balk usually overturned. I don't know if I ever played where a balk was questioned and it got overturned one way or the other once that call's made. But that was for sure a balk right there.
I think for anything, it's Coach Mitchell telling them to look out for it for the next time.
I think you're.
So here we are again. Right Kennedy with the lead. Snap throw to first. That hits him as well. We saw him hit Herring earlier.
Again, both teams trying to hold those runners at first with even a runner on third, trying to keep them honest over there so they don't steal. And it's a risky throw, but I mean, you got to be able to do it and execute.
Well, it shows the importance of the game, each run. Angel up under that one. Jenkins the third quick. The ball is caught. Here comes Caleb Jenkins. Here comes the throw. And Jenkins is safe. Colt Kennedy tags and goes to second. And now it's 5-4. And they're going to say Kennedy left early. And that's going to be the third out as it is 5-4. And we go to the fifth, down by 1 in Harris County. Welcome back to Kudzu Sports on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Rick Beach, Ho, and Lakem with you here in Hamilton as JT Perkles winding up. Fly ball lifted out the left. It's going back. Herring runs out of room. Let's see. He does. And it's a leadoff solo homer for Davis Smith, who hit one yesterday. Answers right back with one here. And it's 6-4. As Davis talking to the Harris County dugout. That ball was carrying. Started thinking maybe it wasn't going to go.
Number 22, Asher Allen.
Now bring up Asher Allen. So now the umpire wants to say something to the Harris County dugout. Kind of thought he'd be going the other way, saying something to that dugout. And now everything quiet down,
Yeah,
like everybody wants to listen in.
Everybody's on edge with how big this game is, and Blue just trying to settle everyone down, I think, right there.
Yeah. Well, it seems like with Perkles, one of the good qualities he has is he don't let his emotions get a hold of him. That's lifted out the left, twisting. Herring long run, grabs it just shy of the foul line, and that's one out. Really good answer right there for JT to come right back after him.
Yeah, you like to see that out of a guy right there, gives up a bomb, and then goes right back in there and fills it up and gets you an out after giving that up. And like you said, JT keeps his emotions pretty in check. He's pretty even keel kid if you've ever talked or met him.
Yeah. So here's the first pitch. Willingham slung and miss. We see the chirping going back and forth. Sometimes you get the momentum, but you kind of fire the other team up. That's a ground ball out to Elder. Backhand, plant, low throw, good throw, and he gets his man. Maybe you hope that kind of ticks you off a little bit if you're Harris County and gets them boys going as they just got back in this game.
Yeah, that's, again, JT, just going right back at two batters right there back-to-back and let your defense work. I mean, not letting that – at least we can't see it. That home run hasn't affected him by any means.
That one's grounded off. Yeah, he's really rallied right back out there, just ho-hum right back at it. And the composure you see from him, then you think that's just the freshman doing that.
I know. They're all throughout this team. And their maturity is through the roof, and they've played a lot of baseball games together as well, which helps.
Big curveball for a strike. That's the biggest thing because these kids have been on the same team for a long time.
Brody's probably been catching JT Perkle for 5-6 years at this point, maybe even longer than that.
They're on the same all-star team, but they were on the same rec team, the Mudcats.
Yeah, the old Mudcats.
That one's flied out to right field. Caden is under it, and the Davis Smith home run is all that Central will get. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It's 6-4 Lions on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And we're back in Hamilton. Rick Beach, and Lakeland with you. As coach, now we're down by 2 here in the 5th, but we're at the top of the order for Dejan. Takes a strike. Dejan 1 for 2 with a double.
Yeah, we're hoping Dejan gets something started here. Huge to start an inning with your leadoff guy and getting him on.
Big curve taken for a strike, and it's 1-2. Elder behind in the count.
He's got a battle right here.
There's the 1-2 taken up and in. Evens the count up 2-2.
See if he can work this count a little bit, find a way.
Got up under that one, lifts it way up in the air. Third baseman and Knight coming in. The catcher makes it. As I'm sure you'd love to see your third baseman make that catch if you're the coach. Coming in on it, a whole lot easier for him.
Yeah,
Bryce Knight made that play.
Haven't seen too many catchers go out there and make a play that far out there.
There's Ashton Herring. Had a single his last time and then stole a base. Ground out just short in the hole, and it goes off the glove and in the left. Nice hit right there for Ashton.
Well, let's hope that hit right there can get your 3-4 hole hitter going and see if we can chip away again and make this inning. Because I want to say last inning we started going was with 1 out as well. So I always see a little repeat here in this inning.
And to see if Herring is running here. He's getting a decent lead. Actually got a bigger lead there. Richardson looks over. Caden calls time. That's another way, since there's no pitch clock, you can hold runners on just by changing your timing. A lot of pitchers getting a habit, the same stretches. Here we go with Richardson set, slide step, pitch. And he's running, long throw by Knight. And Herring gets in. I think Knight's so surprised with Caden swinging that might have got him a little bat blind.
Looks like we're going to have a
They're asking if it's a foul ball, maybe.
meeting with the umpire. I think he might be asking if Caden swung and held that bat back maybe and distracted the catcher. See what they say here. They're going to call him back to first base.
The catcher threw it from behind the dirt.
Coach Dimitri's visibly upset at that call, saying that the catcher didn't even have the ball in his hand.
I just thought it missed it naturally. I didn't think it was any interference.
Well,
either way, Herring's back at first. It's a 0-1 count. Throw over. Nice scoop by Grimaldi.
Well, see if Caden can make that one hurt and make them pay.
Yes, now Herring getting a decent lead over at first. You have to think he will be running at some point, and that's at bat. Slide step, he is going. Laced out to left field, but right at the left fielder. And he catches it. And throws it in and chases Herring back to first, and there's 2 outs here for Luke McEldoon. And I think early on in this at-bat, Herring will be in motion to try to get in scoring position.
You've got to send him here, trying to get him in scoring position with your 4 or 5 hole hitters still up, and even Sawyer Roper down there. See if we can even get down to him. But especially with your big guys here, you got to try to get him in scoring position and see if you can't gap one up and get him in and chip a run across.
First pitch taken high. Herring getting a decent lead over there. You see the slide step by Hayden Richardson.
Yeah, pitcher's mixing up his looks real well as well.
Big curve, that stays up and goes high.
You like where your count is at if you're Luke up to bat right now. 2-0, runner on. See if you can't get one to drive right here.
And that misses high. Luke McEldoon's got that sneaky pop. Sometimes you'll see him just kind of roll the ball on the ground. The next thing you know, he's hitting a rocket ship out in the gap. Now with 3-0, I think he's going to be on take mode right here.
I would assume so. You don't want him to hit your way out of the inning either, so we'll see what he does right here.
And that catches the outside corner.
We'll have to get up on that plate. Blue keeps giving that strike right there off the plate.
There's the 3-1 pitch. Richardson really stalling. Now he throws it to first.
3-1. You're still in a hitter's count, looking for something right here to gap up.
Yeah,
Can't miss a fastball right here.
That's taken on the outside corner again.
Blue, that was way outside.
Goes from 3-0 to 3-2. Now McEldoon's got to be in protect mode. Herring is running now. Line to the third base line and foul just out in front of it.
Yeah, just
we'll
trying to stay alive here, and Blue hasn't been favorable behind the plate those last 2 calls, so you've got to poke something out there if it's in that same location as he's been given that.
And now with Herring in motion, if you can roll one out in the gap, will be fun to watch him run around these bases. Right now we're looking just to get on base. This is 3-2 pitch to Luke McEldoon. Check swing, go to second. He's got good speed. He's safe at first. And McEldoon's speed comes in there. And it's going to be first and second with 2 outs.
Now batting for your Harris County Tigers. Number
Bang, bang play at first.
Hustle play right there by Luke getting down that line. One, I don't even think he meant to really even swing there, and ends up hitting a little bloop out there and kind of to no man's land, and his speed helps him beat one out right there. And now you're going down to your 5-hole here with a shot to get a run across.
And we're going to look to see if they go to the bullpen here. As now they got Harris County's got it first and second. Will Dimitri, who had a double his last time up against Richardson.
Yeah, and like we talked about with Will, he's batting over 500 on varsity, which is just an insane number for anybody. And hopefully he can stay hot here, needing a run here kind of late in this game.
Yeah, just need to, like we said, here in the 5th, you'd like to get both these and get greedy and hit one out in the gap and score both, but just take a single and just chip back at that 6-4, cut it in half here. They're going to stay with Richardson, but like you said, maybe they're attack mode with Roper on deck. Six-4 game here in the 5th.
I think Will had that big hit last night in that 7th inning to get the ball rolling in that inning. So we'll see what he can do here and see if he can keep that momentum.
First pitch to him is off speed, line driver over the head of Asher Allen. Here comes Herring around third. The throw's going to third. McEldoon is safe. Dimitri to second. He is safe. It's second and third, and we're 5-6 here in Hamilton. And Sawyer Roper coming up. Will Dimitri, awesome job of hitting going the other way.
Again, Will just coming up clutch night after night. When you need him most, he's there.
And see that freshman taking an outside pitch and just lining it to right field.
Hitting it exactly where it's pitched. That's just a good piece of hitting right there, and not trying to make things too big on yourself right there.
Number 14.
And now if you're County, you got speed at second.
2 outs.
And Sawyer Roper, I think they're gonna walk Sawyer and pitch to Brody Johnson. And here comes Brody up to bat, and the freshman can really try to make him pay right here.
Yeah, I get the intentional walk there. I get some fans don't get that, but one, you get that power guy there, and now you get a force at any bag with 2 outs. But let's see if Brody can't make it hurt right here.
Roper, your runner at first. Will Dimitri at second. McEldoon at third. Richardson is set. And the pitch to Brody Johnson. It hits him! And McEldoon can jog on in. And Harris County's tied this game up here in the 5th. And Owen, we got a dandy going right now.
Yeah, we've got a ball game, and again, going back to until she walking that guy, it can come back and kill you as well. It's a gamble when you do those things. And
Number 10, Joel
another freshman right there in a big time spot, and wears one.
And now it's Joel Rogers with the bases loaded. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles. The last one just to flare out to center. It fell just right. That's taken away. Here's the thing. When you walk the bases loaded, just like with that hit by pitch, now every pitch is so intense. And love to see Joel just see one right here. And that was the pitch. He was trying to drive it out in that right center gap.
Yeah, that was a nice hag. I think Joel's seeing the ball real well tonight after watching those first 2 at-bats. Again, we're down here in that lower part of the order here, and again, going back to can your lower part of your order make things hurt?
And right here with Joel with the go-ahead run at third. Got Caleb Jenkins, the runner at first. Big leg kick. That one misses away, and it's 2-1.
And he's back to a hitter's count.
And you got a good crowd here making a lot of noise for the Tigers.
And again, I think our dugout's right back into the game just like that.
And Joel asked for time. He messed up the timing of Richardson, as Richardson's been playing that game with the base runners all day. Catcher slides out. Knight set up on that outside corner. That's a called strike out there. Umpire's been consistent on them outside pitches.
Yeah, he's giving it to him for sure. You got to get up on that plate and try to poke that one out if you can.
That's what Joel does here. Is it's 2-2 with 2 outs. Joel with a big swing and fouls it off.
Stays alive. See another pitch. Hopefully he can take one for a ride right here.
I think that's Joel's. His sweet spot's been that power out to right field. But I remember last year and even early this year, them little opposite field singles to left field. He's great with that on the outside pitches. Let's see right here the 2-2 pitch.
I'd take one of those right now, that's for sure.
Richardson looks for his sign. Big lead out at second by Roper. And he steps off. 6-6 scores. Kind of a slow pace early on, County with a 2-0 lead, but it's been mayhem ever since. Joel flies it out to left field. Culverhouse is under it, and that's it. But the Tigers scratch out 2 more, and they tie it up. We go to the 6. It's 6-6. And here's and welcome back to Hamilton. We said we got us a good one going here. We go to the 6. It's a 6-6 tie. JT Perkle hops back up on the bump.
Yeah, and again, and JT showing no signs of emotions and just going right back at these guys.
And we see Luke White, who had the big 2-run double that tied the game at that point in that 5-run 4th inning for Central. As Luke White's going to lead us off 7-8-9 for the Lions.
again, you're hoping those 2 runs there in that inning to get you back at 6-6 can hopefully ease some of this pressure off JT, because now that he's backing up basically an 0-0 ball game.
Yeah, and back to his line drive left field base hit. Another leadoff hit for Central. Last inning, Luke was the home run by Davis Smith. This inning, it's Luke White with a single. Looks like they're going to have a runner for Luke White. And when you get the other mid on in the dugout, you know you're about to be doing some running.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to try to, with that pinch run right there, I would imagine they're probably going to try to steal a bag right here or bunt them over now that they're in the bottom of their lineup as well.
Yeah, Ty Rainwater, I expect Grimaldi to drop one down. See Will Dimitri coming in on the grass at third. JT's got a lot of the off-speed stuff. Like to see him try to. Fastball's taken for the balls. That's in that spot that we've seen get called a lot, it seemed like.
Yeah, that looked like it was almost it might have even been further on the plate, in my opinion, but.
Rainwater at first. He's chased back.
JT just trying to keep him honest over there.
Yeah, I'd love to see if Grimaldi's not laying one down. He looks down the third, got his signs. Will still thinks he may. That one's taken for a ball as well.
I think if you're JT, go right at him right here.
Yeah, get something.
Got to get in the zone here. You don't
There-
want to walk the bottom of the order either.
There he goes for a strike. Now they're getting some signs. Looking down at the third base coach.
Yeah, might try to get something going right here.
Throw over. We saw Brody Johnson throw a stolen back, a caught stealing in that first inning. Sometimes that could play with the coach over at third when he's trying to manage his way through an inning.
Yeah, I'm looking for them to bunt right here.
And they're not. Runner going.
Hit.
And he flicks the bat out there and evens it up 2-2.
Little hit and run. Their second time trying that in this game.
And both times have been on pitches that are out of the zone. So it's benefited the Tigers. Now it's 2-2. They may try a straight steal right here. You see Rainwater getting a good lead. Itching to run over there. He is going. And that's going to play perfectly for the Central as Elder just abandoned that spot. And that's where the ball goes. And just like that, it's first and second with nobody out.
Yeah, great pitch by JT right there. I mean, right to your shortstop, and he goes to take the base there on that guy stealing, and it opens that hole wide open.
Another run is Joe Turner going to run for Grimaldi. And it's going to be Austin Ayers for Central up the bat. Changes all over the place right here.
Yeah, I would be highly shocked if they don't try to lay one down right here and get both those guys into scoring position with no outs, and you're going back to the top of your order after this. So,
yeah, and they expect to see Joel weigh in. Will probably going to stay at home and let JT cover that side. He's swinging, and he chases off-speed pitch, and it's quickly 0-1. Austin Ayers, the batter, batting for Jake Alvester.
I was surprised they swung right there. Still can't give up on the bunt here. Looks like Joel's crashed in a little bit.
There's the bunt attempt. It's going to go right down the line. No play, nowhere. And this base is loaded for the top of the order.
That was right there. It was just an perfectly executed bunt. I mean, when you get your first baseman in like that and your third baseman's playing back, it's hard to ask your pitcher to go over there and cover all that ground.
Yeah, it looks like a pitching change now as Jacob Eber is going to come out there. So we're going to take a break, and Eber's going to be in a mess when we get back on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And welcome back is Jacob Eber. Has come out of the bullpen and got the top of this central lineup. Grant Chafin leading it off. Called strike. Nice pitch by Jacob right there.
Good confidence pitch right there to get ahead early in the count. Looks like we're keeping corners in and infield back.
Grant with a 2-run double his last time up. It's in a 1-1 count here with Jacob pitching. Eber's delivery. Ground the ball up the middle. Elder to McEldoon. Bad throw. And it's going to go over here. There's a slide right there by the runner. Got Luke and made us throw errant. And that's going to score 2. And it's now 8-6.
They have called interference on the runner, it's looking like.
Then that would mean one runner have to go back, and it'd only be 7-6. Is the slide.
Okay, so
So it's going to be 8-6 as they're done talking.
8-6, that ball must have went in the dugout. I can't see from this angle.
And Blake Culverhouse up to bat. Call strike. You'd have traded 2 outs for 1 run, but you get 1 out and give up 2 runs. Really
Yeah, you would have loved to.
demoralizing a little bit here this inning when you got the pitch and the play you wanted.
Roll pay right there and give up a run and with 2 outs, and
Called strike on that inside corner. It's 0-2.
now you got 1 out and you gave up 2 runs because of the throwing error there.
Davis Smith is on deck. Flipped it to right field, going to fall fair. Here comes Chafin around third. The throw home is going to not get him. And it's 9-6. The Centrals answered the call each and every time Harris County makes a little headway.
Yeah, that's when it comes deep to not getting too high and too low throughout a baseball game, especially one like this that's been competitive since the start.
That one gets by Brody. Just rolling around. This game's getting similar to yesterday in a similar spot when that's where we saw. Now there's the walk of Davis Smith, which you have no issue with. And that'll bring up Asher Allen with 1 out. Maybe now he can hit the ground ball you need.
Yeah, you're cool with putting that guy on right there after what he's done the past 2 days, and it gives you a force at any bag right there as well.
Comes Coach Dimitri to talk to Jacob. Well, to thank our sponsors. So you see them pop up. Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, longtime sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. The Harris County Sheriff's Office. And Kinetic Credit Union. Appreciate them getting on board during baseball season. The Buffalo Rock Pepsi. There's Rick Knight, State Farm in Hamilton. And CaroliteColony.org. Don't forget, on April 19th, the 5K at Ellerslie Park. It's also going to have a fun run, Easter egg hunt, food trucks. Come out there and support the CaroliteColony.org and they give so much to youth sports in this area. I know y'all see it over at the middle school.
We sure do. Football, baseball, any sport we have, they're donating to help the youth programs out. So
That's
we
just
really
incredible.
We really like that program a lot and what they're about and what they do for Harris County kids, and they take care of them and help the sports grow a lot.
Yeah, taking a absolute tragedy and then turning it and giving it back is amazing. Well, here's Eber to Allen. First pitch misses up and away.
Eber's got to settle in here and kind of try to cancel out that noise from the Central Carrollton dugout that's picked back up.
Yeah, we've seen him already get one ground ball that he was needing. Line drive out to right, rather. Caden comes up with this one, and throw comes in. Nice play by Brody, and it's going to be bases loaded for Willingham as they're going station to station.
Back in a situation again with bases loaded, and see if you can't get you another ground ball here and get out of it.
This is absolute.
So we're gonna move corners in again and keep those two middle infielders back to try to hopefully turn another double play.
Yes, it's big here. That one's flied out to right. It's going to be deep. They're going to try him. Caden with the catch. Throws it in. They let it ride. And it's going to come in late. And that's going to be a 4 spot this inning on. It's going to be first and third with 2 outs.
We'll see if Eber can keep it at bay right here and get us back in the dugout, because our bats are definitely just as hot as theirs. So, 4 runs may seem like a lot, but I think with the way we're swinging, I think if we can get back in here and keep this number right here, I think we have a shot to get right back in it in this next half inning.
Yes, 4's usually, that's the number coaches look at. If you're down by 4, you're technically 1 swing away.
That's
being
right.
able to tie it. So being right here with 4. Throw to first, and Eber came in bases loaded, nobody out. And he got the ground ball then with a 6-6 score. Just a nice play by Central Carroll, sliding into second, old school, forced the bad throw, and Harris County still trying to recover. That's fouled straight back. Bryce Knight, the catcher. 0 for 2, but does have a run scored when he drew a walk in that big 4th inning.
Yeah, Eber looking to get out of this one, keep the damage, what's been done. Another move over to first, trying to keep that runner honest.
Runner going. Called strike, makes it 0-2.
Brody just let the runner go there.
Focus on the hitter. That's what we need right here. Oh, and 2, Eber. But you don't want to waste one to have it get away. So trying to make it happen right here on 0-2. Here's the pitch. Just off the end of the bat. And we'll do it again.
See if he goes at him with a fastball here, change it up a bit.
Another 0-2 by Eber. Ground out to Elder. Comes set, slings across the diamond, and finally get out of this inning. But it's another big inning for Central. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 10-6 on Georgia. And here we go in the bottom of the sixth. Colt Angel going to lead us off. Rhett Nelson in the pitch for Central. And here's that ever important leadoff hitter for Harris County.
Yeah, this is a big spot for us if we can get this guy aboard right here and roll it over to Dejan, who's been as hot as anybody on the team.
Yeah, it seems the success comes. We were talking during the break. Harris County gets that leadoff batter on. They have success in that inning. So here we go with Colt. Takes a ball, it's 2-0.
And he's looking for his pitch to hit right here. You don't want to chase it anything. Make sure it's a pitch you can actually drive out and see if we can get it in and going.
Yeah, so here we go. The 2-0 pitch to Colt. Called on the inside corner, 2-1. Still ahead. Look for your pitch right here for your Colt.
You're not really mad at that take either. I don't think he could have done much with that pitch anyways.
Yeah. Not every strike is a hittable strike.
Yeah, not everyone 2-0.
And there you go. Now it's 3-1 really in the driver's seat. Is Colt Angel.
Yeah, this is a huge at-bat for us.
3-1 from Nelson. Is going to be taken for a ball. Harris County's got the leadoff on. And Dejan Elder will come at the plate. The bottom of the order doing this job, turning it over right here.
Yeah, they've done a great job tonight overall, giving your top of the order a chance to produce some runs here.
Elder 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Taken up.
John's ahead in the count right here. This is good. He's batting over 500 on the season as well.
Takes a strike. Just had Angel walk on 5 pitches. Not upset with Dejan being selective up there.
Yeah, no, not at all. Just let him see some pitches. See what Central's got out the pen again.
As that curve stays in, makes it a 2-1 count. Maybe get a fastball right here and try to do some damage if you're Dejan. Maybe a makeup call for the pitch before on that
I
one.
would agree. Might have been giving that one back.
Now it's a 2-2 count. Dejan got to protect right here. And a good job, good take right there by Dejan as he was looking at it. That makes it a full count, and that'll be interesting to see. Down by 4. If they still want to put Colt in motion right here at first base, try to stay out of a double play.
Hopefully
Dejan speed's hard enough, but it is a full count. Not going. Beautiful pitch right there by Rhett Nelson for the strikeout.
Gutsy 3-2 call right there, going off speed.
Now batting for your Harris County Tigers, number 12, Ashton Herring.
Throw to first, just trying to catch him sleeping. Angel back safely. Bring up Ashton Herring. He's got 2 for 3 today, or 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Is Ashton. Takes a fastball in there for a strike.
Yeah, we're going to have to get up on that plate as he's given that way outside all night.
There's off speed in the dirt. Nice play by Knight to keep it in front of him. It's 1-1 count. Yeah, I mean, you pitched yourself. You know if that umpire's giving you that outside, the black on the outside, you're going to just live out there. And then you're going to go a little further to see how far you can go.
Exactly. You've got to.
There's a ground ball to right side. Nice play. And they're going to call him out at first. Oh, he's safe. They got time. They're going to talk it out. These signals by this base umpire is a sideways out call, and it is super confusing. Right here, he's talking to the home plate umpire to see if the first baseman pulled off potentially, which is supposed to be the home plate umpire's job looking down the line, but it's hard to see on that side of first base, I'm sure.
Yeah,
nice play by Asher Allen.
Many of umpire meetings tonight.
Yeah, it slows the game down a lot. Elders retired on the 4-3 putout.
But again, a swing right there with calling somebody out there. It almost looked like he's telling everyone that the first baseman came off the bag.
Yeah. So here's Caden Dimitri.
You do have a runner in scoring position here, so thinking a base hit here probably gets him in.
Line drive left field. It's coming into Culverhouse. He's going to let it bounce. Here comes Colt Angel around third. Here comes a throw off the glove of the catcher. Angel's going to be safe. Dimitri will go to second. And Harris County ever so slightly cuts into that lead.
It's kind of like I said, you get late in this game and you got 2 outs there and you get a base hit. You got a guy in scoring position. Some might call it a gutsy call, but in my opinion, you've got to get that run in, and exactly what happened. Force him to make a good throw. And again, this energy just keeps swinging back and forth this whole ball game.
And with the 4 in the top of the inning, now McEldoon up. Big swing and a miss by Luke. McEldoon, remember, had that infield single his last time up.
Yeah, and again, we got another guy in scoring position. You got your 4-hole up and hoping to keep chipping away.
Yeah, make him pay that ball that got away from the catcher right there. Allowed Dimitri to get to second. And that one skips by. That'll get Dimitri to third with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Yeah, I think to me, this is a huge run over here on third. If you can cut it to 2 and get in that 7th inning, you know, two's definitely not as much as 3. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just 1 base runner away.
To me, this is a huge run here.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to McEldoon. Taking highs, 2-1. Will Dimitri looms on deck.
We've got to read a ball in the dirt here if you're Caden. Another pass ball so you can get in here.
Caden getting a decent lead over at third. Called strike 2. Can't be upset. He's been calling that same pitch all night. Whether it's a strike or not, it's been all there all night. Here's the 2-2.
Catcher set back up.
And it's taken up, making a full count.
I'll be surprised if he goes off speed here. He did the other time with Dejan. And got a bag open as well.
McEldoon chased, and we go to the 7th. It's 10-7 Central. And we're back in Hamilton, Owen. Now it's, such a big deal now. You got to hold them at 10 right here and give yourself a shot in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah, I would say this is an inning where you've got to keep them off the bag. Not necessarily off the bag, but keep them from getting another run in. You've got to be able to hold it as it is.
If you're going to have a shot in the 7th, you really feel better about it. There's first pitch swinging, fair ball, backhanded by Joel, steps on the base. The fleet-footer Rogers gets his man at first.
That's just a great play by your first baseman right there. I mean, over the bag, it's skirting off to the right.
And for a lefty, you're backhanding it.
Yeah, great play by your first baseman there to keep that on the infield and get a leadoff out.
Because it is trouble if it gets by him down in that corner. And here comes Grimaldi. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Eber here in the 7th. He's old school from the windup. That one goes off the padding.
Nowhere near the zone. Maybe there was some miscommunication there. Brody going out there to talk to Eber.
We talked being just down by 3 after what happened last night up in Central. There won't be no lack of confidence in that Harris County dugout if they can keep them right here.
I believe that's right. Keep them here, and you believe you've got a shot, especially with the way you've been swinging it these 3 games against Central Carrollton.
Another one way out.
Came out his hand a little funky there. Again, like we talked about, you do not want walks here at the bottom of the lineup.
That's what got us in trouble last inning.
Go right at him.
He had 1 pitch, 1 out. Then he comes up here in 3 straight out of the zone to the 8-hole hitter.
Yeah, which is not what you want. You don't want to go back to that leadoff guy with people on base, especially with that guy being as hot as he's been.
He was hoping to get out of this inning without having to face a Grant Chafin, the leadoff batter.
He
now
looks
the
completely
leadoff
different.
walk.
Those 4 pitches look completely different coming out his hand.
And here comes Coach Dimitri. Looks like he'll be going to the bullpen. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with a new pitcher on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And welcome back as Will Dimitri hops on the mound. Hudson King will be over at third base. And here's the first pitch by Dimitri. Call, strike on that outside part of the plate.
Yeah, umpire loves that spot all night for some reason. I think as a pitcher, you've got to, if he's going to call it, you've got to hit it. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, that you have to crowd the plate, and that really opens up if you're a pitcher on just these jam shots.
Yep, you can go back in and jam somebody.
0-1 count. One out here in the 7th. Big off-speed pitch for a strike. And it's 0-2 in this county down by 3. Trying to hold off Central right here in this top half and give themselves an opportunity in the bottom. Will Dimitri comes set. 0-2 pitch. This is away. Eber finishes after 20 pitches. He entered the game last inning in a complete mess. Nobody out, bases loaded, and got the ground ball. And just the slide forced a bad throw. Here's the 1-2. Off speed fouled straight back.
Yeah, and Will, another freshman you're relying on to get you out of a big spot here.
Vester, the center fielder, batting. Here's the 1-2 from Will Dimitri. Misses low and away. That's 2-2. Now you absolutely want to make it happen on the 2-2 pitch and not go full.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad miss there on a 1-2 count. Out and down. Rather you miss there than up and in.
Yeah. Line drive center field. That's going to be a base hit. And you walk the 8-hole hitter. You give up a single to the 9-hole, and now you're in a mess. First and second, one out with the top of the order.
Now batting number 14, Grant Chafin.
Try to locate here and get this guy to pop up into one or roll one over, get you an out or two.
A big 2-run double to get the score started for Central Carroll in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Misses away. Joel right on top of him over at first. Take away, you need a chance of a drag bunt type scenario. Ground ball right back at Dimitri. Throws it to Elder. Gets that one. Double clutch. Safe at first. The double clutch by Elder. But I think he had to. He kind of caught that ball coming across the plate. But it's 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, at least you got a ground ball there. Try to roll 2, and not a great throw there to second by Will, but better to get 1 than none.
Right.
So now
it kind of looked like that throw was tailing a little bit. That's what made Eber have to focus on getting the 1 out.
Exactly. Now you got 2 outs here, and hopefully we can get out of this and keep the game at what it is.
Foul ball right here is Blake Culverhouse coming up.
Now batting number 1, Blake Culverhouse.
Dimitri comes set first and third, 2 outs. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Big curveball for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Culverhouse.
Will looking to get us out of this one, get out of another jam, and keep you alive going into that bottom of the 7th inning.
It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for Harris County. Let's hope it's a pitch away. Here's the 0-2 runner going, swing and a miss. Brody picks it up, throws it to Joel Rogers, and that's the end of the inning. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, down by 3, we're looking for some runs in Hamilton on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And welcome back to the Hamilton, Georgia, right off Tiger Way. So we're in this bottom of the seventh inning for these cardiac kids over here in the first base dugout. First pitch called, strike. We knew he was going to be taken till he got a strike, and he won't have to wait long.
And you're hoping Will here can find his way on base. Big down 3 in this last inning, getting that leadoff guy on.
Off speed called, strike. Nice pitch right there by Rhett Nelson. And it's 0-2 on Will Dimitri.
He's going to that outside corner again.
Called, strike 3.
Well, went back to that pitch that's been called all night long.
All night long. And sorry, Roper, like I said, right now they can throw him whatever they want because he can hit one to Pine Mountain and it won't matter. So you're down by 3.
Yeah, I'm going right at him if I'm Central Carrollton.
And he gets off speed. He was ready for it. He was ready for a fastball and gets off speed, and it's 0-1.
Sawyer doesn't need to try to do too much here, though. You're down 3, a home run. It's not like the other night where it ties it up.
Yeah. Another off-speed. Good take right there. Make it 1-1. Harris County down by 3. Only 2 outs left. And nice take right there.
3 breaking balls in a row. Surprised we haven't seen a fastball yet.
And all 3 out of the zone.
I could be wrong, but I'd assume that's what he's going here on that outside corner, which is exactly where that catcher just set up at.
And misses low and away, and it's 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike.
One spot right here.
Big swing and a miss, and it's 3-2. And it goes back. Central would rather give up a home run than have base runners and get that whole thing going. And Sawyer was trying to oblige them by that.
Challenge him with that one.
Here's the 3-2 with 1 out here in the 7th. Ball 4. Hey, sometimes you got to be on edge with these umpires. And
yeah, that pitch looked better than the ones that have been way out all night, but
yeah, you definitely tell he likes that outside quarters. Which if I'm pitching, if or the hitter, if you give the way, don't give them in too. You got to be one or the other.
I agree with that.
So if the umpire's going to give that outside corner, don't give that much in. As here comes Brody Johnson with a runner on and 1 out. That's in the dirt and it's taken for a ball.
Seeing if we can make something happen here.
So when you're scoreboard watching right here, you're looking. You got the tying run on deck as Brooks Green has picked up a bat. Knowing he could be the potential tying run if everything goes right. 1-0 pitch is called, strike. We're just saying, it's hard to give that outside corner than come in and give that same amount inside.
Yeah, those umpires giving a couple inches on both sides of the plate tonight.
And that's really just kills you if you're the batter.
Makes it really hard to be a hitter.
Here's the 1-1. Ground ball up the middle. Willingham bobbles it. Safe at second. And it's going to be first and second with 1 out. And Brooks Green is coming up to bat. And much like Sawyer Roper in game 1, Brooks Green has one job right here, and it's swing hard and see how far you can hit it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hopefully he gets a pitch, and I'd imagine this pitcher's probably going to see some off speed here. I think you've got to tell him to get up on that plate and expect that outside fastball pitch that's been called all night. At this point, I know it's not a great pitch swinging, but at this point in the game, that can't be an excuse on why you're not swinging.
Yeah.
When it's been called again and again and again.
It's Harris County again, late inning, making things exciting.
Applying some pressure here late again.
Here's Brooks Green, pinch hitting with 2 on, 1 out. Big swing by Brooks. popped it up, getting close to the screen, and Knight can't come up with it. He lost it high in that Harris County sky. And now if you're Brooks, you get a new life.
Yeah, if you're Brooks Green right here after that, they just gave you life right there. That's where as a hitter you make that one hurt for them not catching that.
Tying run pinch hitter here in the 7th with 1 out. That one gets away from the catcher, goes down the third baseline, and that takes away the double play potential. And it's a 1-1 count on Brooks Green.
And now Brooks really doesn't even need to try to do too much. You get a base hit right here, and you're probably trying to score 2, and then your tying run is on base as well with a base hit. So I think right here he doesn't need to try to do too much. We're just trying to get a hit right here and get 2 runs here on the board.
He got speed out there on the base pass with Caleb Jenkins. Called strike on Brooks.
And Brooks is going to have to battle right here, be a tough out.
Definitely shorten that swing up. Cold Angel on deck. Brooks down in a 1-2 hole. Called strike 3 on the pitch outside. See, the catchers didn't move that much. It makes your head shake a little bit. And that'll bring up Colt Angel.
To me, that was almost like it was in the other batter box, but
All right, everybody.
like we just discussed, it's been called all night, right? As a hitter, you've got to know that and get up on the plate and try to poke that one out to right field if you can.
Well, it's definitely getting a little bit further as the game is going on.
It has. That one to me felt like it was further out than they have been all night.
Either way, there's 2 outs here in the 7th inning with Colt Angel. Dejan on deck. Angel line drive off Nelson. He's running down. He spins to throw it. Safe at first. Run scores. And that puts the tying run on base, and Rhett Nelson's going to get looked at by the coaching staff. Colt Angel with a rocket up the middle.
Let's check on him, make sure he's all right.
Yeah, that ball was roped right back up the middle on the pitcher. Things you hate to see. But
these bats and stuff these days, we'll take this moment to thank some of our sponsors. With Derek Moxley Concrete Service. As Derek, big-time supporter of Harris County Athletics. We talk about the walkway he got over there to concrete work to go from the indoor to the football field and the work he did at Pate Park. See Maddie running off the field, the Harris County Athletic Trainer. I'd like to thank her. In March is Athletic Trainer Appreciation Month. And I know Harris County all sports appreciate all the work that Miss Maddie does. And she's always at every day after school. You see her at an event, whether it be the middle school events all the way through the high school.
Going back on that golf cart, man.
Yeah, you see her on that golf
all
cart.
the time.
You know, sometimes we have tennis, soccer, baseball, middle school got stuff going on. So that golf cart gets some use. So I appreciate all the
miles
use.
on it.
Yeah, between her and Mr. Lenny's Touchdown Club golf cart, they're telling how many miles they get put on them. They're going to let Nelson throw a couple. As Angel was sitting on that one and just lined it up the middle like last night in the 7th inning for him. And Harris County, again, down by 3 going in, has got the tying run on base. And when you're fighting a team like this, a young team for Harris County, that just, man, you want to give yourself a chance. And they got one here with Dejan Elder.
Yeah, and you kind of don't ask for a better spot right here for one of your older guys who's been in the program. Your leadoff batter, he's batting over 500.
Dejan Elder.
This is, in my opinion, the guy that's like, okay, this is your time to shine right here, Dejan.
And here's the first pitch. Maybe he can ambush one. And it gets away, and he hesitated, but it gets away again. And Caleb Jenkins scores, and that puts the tying run in scoring position with Colt Angel. As Caleb had a little bit of a funky read, do I go, do I stay? But then they got away from that a second time.
And luckily for us, the catcher, like you just said, couldn't get a handle on it. So keeps the game alive here. And now, if you're Dejan, you're really just trying to maybe just get a base hit because you've got speed on second base and he's in scoring position.
And you'd like to see just get one through the infield right here. Just hit a ball with eyes on it. and try to tie this puppy up and hit it somewhere not dead center where Jake Ivester has that arm we saw last night. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Nelson comes set. Elder off speed, misses up. It's 2-0, and Dejan can really sit back here and wait on his pitch, and if he gets it, try to place it out in the gap somewhere.
Yeah, no better spot for one of your upperclassmen. Runner in scoring position late in the game, 10-9. You're up 2-0 in the count, looking for one spot to drive out there.
Angel, I know you got good speed out there. We saw him run on Culverhauser earlier and scored on a close play. Maybe try to get a little bit bigger lead out there. Willingham holding him. Here's the 2-0 to Dejan. Oh, they call that a strike. And the ball gets away. Cold Angels out at third by 4 foot. And that's how we end the game. And Central gets away with a 10-9 win as Harris County loses for the second night in a row by 1 run, with Absolute had given themselves a chance. And this time they run out of it on the base pass. But you got to give credit to this Harris County team by having a shot there at the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, God. Tough one to lose there, man. Again, I think I had said it with Ethan a couple hours ago, was base running. Base running will kill you out of an inning. And right there, it did. In that first game against Central, we had a couple innings where we ran ourselves out the inning. So you hate to see it, but not a horrible performance. You know you've got fight in your team at least, and as you grind out these last couple weeks of region play, at least you know what you got in your ball club.
Yeah, well, I think Harris County found out what they got this series. I know a lot of people were talking on Facebook about Harris County hadn't played nobody, and now they played a team that was 18-0 coming into this series. But Central Carroll definitely is glad this Harris County series is over with, and we're getting ready for spring break. We'll still have Sly County and a doubleheader with Eufaula next week. But the big one's the week after that. We wait on the final up in Fayetteville or Peachtree City, rather, with Stars Mill and Northside as the winner of that game will be tied atop the rankings or the standings with Central Carroll. But for Tyler Dykes, for Owen Lakeman, I'm Rick Beach. We're getting out of here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Go Tigers.